somebody gave me the thumbs up. They're driving beside me, they're driving a Nissan Murano. The option of having a hands-free power tailgate. It has such more of a fresh look. We recently had a sneak peek and a full walk around of the brand new Toyota Tundra, the much anticipated full-size truck from Toyota. And if you haven't watched that video, I really recommend that you click the link below after watching this one, and we go through everything with the product specialist from Toyota Canada. So on today's video, we promised you we're actually going to drive these vehicles. Now remember, just like the first video, these vehicles that we're driving are prototypes. They are working, functional prototypes, but all the fit and finish that you see might be a little bit different. For instance, there's a lot of kind of shiny plastic on this particular model that we're driving right now. That will not be there on the final finished production model. So let's get to it. In case you missed the first video, here's just a really quick recap. This full-size new Tundra is completely new from A to Z. Every single thing, the interior is different, new infotainment system, fully boxed frame, you name it. It's a clean blank slate they worked from, and there are some big changes compared to the previous outgoing model, and one of them are the power plants. Gone from the Tundra lineup now is the V8, but don't worry, they've replaced it with something I'm not going to say equally as good. I'm going to say it is much better. So the Tundra is available with two power plants, two iForce engines. There's the iForce and the iForce Max, and that one uses a hybrid system. So we are in the Tundra TRD off-road right now, and this is equipped with the iForce, so the non-hybrid version. So it's a 3.5-liter V6. It puts out 389 horsepower. So we're doing 80 kilometers an hour right now, and I'm telling you, like, I put my foot into it. There's minimal, such a small little bit of lag there, but it's so responsive. They've really tuned even the tip in for the actual accelerator pedal. It's just so engaging. You just feel very connected to this engine. And I just recently drove the current generation Tundra in the trail with that V8 engine, and it's night and day. Like, this is much more responsive. You'd think that, oh, it's a V6, how can it be, you know, compared to a V8? This is absolutely comparable, if not better for sure. Like, it has really good pickup. You know what I would love? I would love to see them put this engine in the Tacoma. Yeah, I just drove a Tacoma TRD Pro here. We're in the Toronto area right now, and I drove it to the head office of Toyota to pick up this, and there's no comparison, absolutely. But it's amazing that this V6 can haul this amount of mass around so efficiently, so well. Now, one of the things Toyota has really strived to do is really fine-tune this frame and this platform or chassis, whatever you want to call it, because this same platform is going to be shared kind of on a global platform to be used with on other like full-size SUVs with a body-on-frame chassis. And because of that, they can't have this thing feeling really trucky. You can't go in your luxury SUV and feel like you're driving a big, huge pickup. So they have really done their homework, and they've refined this vehicle so well. The suspension is set up just perfect. You know that old saying, you know, hey, yeah, it drives like a truck, or if you have a pickup truck, especially an older one, and this is super common, or a real heavy-duty pickup truck, they normally don't drive that well until you actually put a load into the back. And once you load it down, then, oh yeah, it feels a little bit more planted now. Everything's working better. The suspension's working better when you have weight in it. Well, Toyota has tuned this, and they've tested this vehicle for years and years, and we have no load in the back. I'm only a single passenger in here. I got my suitcase in here, that's about it. So the unsprung weight is like nothing here compared for the payload. And it really, really is impressive how well it drives on the road. The power steering has quite a direct feel. There's no wandering at all, and the steering is actually quite light as well. So just, that's a good thing for a big vehicle like this. We just recently tested the new Nissan Frontier, the mid-size truck, and I was surprised that that steering is actually pretty heavy. However, that is a hydraulic system. This is electric power steering. We have a little lane departure warning happening. So this new Tundra, well, all of them are equipped with the latest Toyota Safety Sense. And the nice thing about this Safety Sense, which includes your collision avoidance, your emergency braking, your blind spot warning, lane keeping assist, you get all those safety features, but those things are also extended to trailering. So if you're pulling a trailer, that blind spot warning will actually work with the extension of the vehicle as well. So that's all a big bonus. Now, speaking of towing, 12,000 pounds maximum capacity for towing on this Tundra, and it all depends what configuration you have for your vehicle, if it's two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, what cab configuration as well. So anyways, 12,000 pounds max. Payload capacity, 1,600 pounds. We will not get a chance to tow with this, unfortunately, but we had a chance to go on a deep dive with Mike Sweers, the chief engineer of the Tundra, and he was telling us, it's like, if you get a chance, you gotta go and check out the towing on this vehicle. Unfortunately, yeah, we won't get a chance, but what they've done is they're not trying to chase the towing game. How, hey, we can do 12,100, if you do that, someone's gonna say we can do 12,200. Instead, they really wanna nail what they have, whether you're towing 12,000 pounds or 2,000 pounds, or you're a veteran driver for towing, or you're a infrequent tower, this thing is going to perform the same, right across the board. At max capacity, it's not going to be a white knuckle experience, and that's what they really strive to achieve with this Tundra. Once again, we are not able to test that out, but I definitely do take his word for it. There's a run to 60 right there. This is quick. Transmission-wise, power goes through a 10-speed auto transmission, so lots of ratios there, and that is definitely going to help you save on fuel. There are no official fuel numbers at the time of recording right now. However, I do have a combined rating of this iForce, not the hybrid. So the combined rating is 20 miles per gallon. So definitely better than the old V8. It's pretty hard not to get better because that thing was pretty bad for sure. So the transmission, you do have a manual setting if you do want to shift your own gears, but it's really smooth. The transmission is very, very smooth and fairly quick as well to shift. If we go here, now we are doing 100 kilometers an hour, which is 62 miles per hour, and the experience I get in here is, first of all, we mentioned already, this doesn't really drive like a truck, and so they have achieved that. Another thing that they've done is they've created this really serene cabin. Listen to how quiet it is in here. Plus, you don't have that kind of that low frequency drone that you get with the V8. You hear this tiny little bit of a from the turbo once in a while under load, but that's it. This thing it's whisper quiet. It's really, really quiet. Suspension is not making much noise at all. There's once again no comparison between this and the outgoing model in terms of noise, road drivability. This is light years ahead of the old one. Next up, we have the top dog. This is the Tundra TRD Pro underneath the hood of this is the iForce Max. So that's a 3.5 liter twin turbo V6 with the hybrid system. So we're gonna take it for a drive, but before we do, this is the same vehicle that we did our walk around about a month ago. So make sure, once again, watch that video if you haven't. But it was inside last time. This time we get a chance to have a look at it in all its glory outside. And there's a couple of things that I've learned since that walk around that I want to share with you. Come over to the back here. Now, a lot of people were wondering, including myself, when Toyota went to reinvent this new Tundra, why didn't they make some fancy tailgate, like, you know, like a step on it or something that some of the other manufacturers have? Well, you know, they did look into things like that, but they just wanted to make a product that was as versatile for everybody. And a lot of times you might have your tailgate open, so that kind of renders some of those features useless. So they did give you the option to get accessories, so you can get you know, a step as an accessory. I believe you might even be able to get a power step for an accessory for the rear. And also they explored the option of having a hands-free power tailgate, so you know, a kick and then it would come open, whether it's power or just spring-loaded. However, in their testing, they realized that most people would be going off-road with their vehicle, and those sensors would actually get dirty, rendering that system completely useless. So they came up with this bump button here. So we talked about this in the first video, but instead of just using a hand, you can actually just go, your hands are full. Let's say your hands are full, you got stuff in there, you can just bump it and then go and then put your items in. So just a couple small things that I found out. Let's take it for a drive. Now we're in the top dog, the TRD Pro. In a bit we will tell you all the extra little goodies that you get with this TRD Pro, but under the hood you do have a twin turbo 3.5 liter V6 like the iForce, but this iForce Max also has a parallel hybrid system. So there is a 48 horsepower electric motor in between the engine and the transmission, and that is really going to help out on torque and also for fuel economy as well. But mainly this system was designed for performance, but we'll also get to our fuel economy in a second. So 48 horsepower and 184 pound-feet more of torque. So that gives you a total of 437 horsepower and 583 pound-feet of torque with this 3.5 liter V6. So we are just cruising along here, and it runs kind of like a regular hybrid in a way. This is not the same system as you would find in your Prius or your Toyota Camry or Highlander hybrid, but first of all, you do not have an eCVT. For those ones, do not have a conventional automatic transmission. This, you get that nice 10-speed auto transmission as well. This is not a plug-in system. You don't have to plug it in every night. You just drive it like regular. So right off the bat, you can really notice, you know, the difference. Even though on the regular iForce, I mentioned there was a slight little delay, you know, a little lag there. This electric motor really picks up that slack, so it really just gets you going until those twin turbos are scrolled up. So it's very, very instant power and torque. You just have that little extra bit, and it just keeps on pulling a little bit further. I wouldn't say it's not like wow compared to the iForce. That iForce without the hybrid is an extremely capable motor, and that's what surprised me. I thought there was going to be quite a bit more difference. There is a difference, you know, but for sure, you know, but it's that iForce. Don't discount that vehicle at all. So what do you get on the TRD Pro? Well, you get a lot of the cosmetic goodies that we mentioned in the previous video, but here's a little list of what you get. Of course, appearance-wise, you're going to get a lot more badging. You get an LED light bar on the front. You have a camo motif type of pattern. You see it on the seats as well as on the fender flares. 18-inch wheels are standard with 33-inch all-terrain tires. You get smoked finish LED headlamps. The TRD Pro is lifted by 1.1 inches, and you get Fox internal bypass coilovers and rear remote reservoir shocks. TRD Pro front stabilizers, red springs, a TRD front skid plate, you get black dual exhaust tips, a big Toyota panel badge on the passenger side inside, a TRD Pro steering wheel, and there's a lot more things that come with it. And one of the biggest things is the exclusive solar octane color that you can only get on the TRD Pro. Now, if you don't want a lot of attention, I don't recommend this color. It is a hot color. It grabs a lot of attention regardless if you're driving or if you're parked. And while the TRD off-road that we tested earlier had Bilstein shocks, this TRD Pro is, first of all, it's lifted and it also has Fox shocks. But even though it's a different shocks and the suspension is a little bit different and this is higher, it still has that nice refined untruck-like or less truck-like experience, in my opinion, compared to the previous generation for sure, or a lot of other pickup trucks. It might be a little bit rougher because we do have some off-road tires on here. So this is where I really noticed that hybrid system. We were just going up a small hill, and you just have to just touch that pedal ever so gently, and it just gently pulls you so nicely. I do not miss the V8 at all. This motor is sweet, regardless if it's the regular iForce or the iForce Max. I do want to give a big shout out and thank you to Toyota Canada for offering a chance to drive this new Tundra, and why this is a real treat because this is a prototype through and through. But so did you hear the signal, the turn signals? I don't think that they were that loud even on the last Tundra that we just drove, but just listen to them. It's pretty loud. So a couple other things that this TRD Pro has. You get this big 14-inch screen. This is a very similar screen setup and system as the new Lexus NX that we just tested. So lots of real estate, over-the-air updates, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, big, huge screen for backup camera and around view and off-road cameras. All of that stuff is sweet on this thing, and this also has the full-size digital dash as well. There's that turn signal indicator. Let's just put our foot into it here. Now the ride on this, I'm finding that it's a slight bit rougher, and I think that's due to the tires. And I'm almost wondering if there's some dirt in the tires here, because I looked underneath and I think someone took this off-road. Unfortunately, we do not have an off-road track in our short little test to test this new Tundra, but if we did, this is equipped with the multi-terrain select, the MTS, with the crawl mode. And what Toyota's done on this one, or what they've told us when we talked to Mike Swears again, is that the old one, and I did try it on the Tacoma at the launch, there was a lot of things going on, in the crawl mode. It wasn't loud, but there was definitely noise to it. This one, I've been reassured, is completely silent. So the crawl mode is almost like off-road cruise control, let's just say. So you can just go over and climb over rocks and everything. This iForce Max, we don't have an official number, but for our drive right now, and so we're only driving about 100 kilometers, what we've been driving so far. And we are averaging, our total average on the trip computer here is 5.8 liters per 100K. That's really good. That's really, really good. Like I'm hoping that is accurate, because that's just mind-blowing for a vehicle with the capabilities that it has, the size of vehicle this is. I don't know if that could even be accurate. I don't know, because that's better than our Toyota Highlander hybrid. Could it be true? I don't know. But definitely this is definitely gonna be better fuel economy than the V8, regardless of if it's the iForce or iForce Max, hands down. I think existing Tundra owners are going to love this truck, but not just them. I think this Tundra is going to win over quite a few buyers from some of the other brands as well. Official pricing and fuel economy have not been released at the time of recording this video, but as soon as they are, I will update it in the description below, so make sure to check on that, and also make sure to check out part 1 where we do the full walk around. If you haven't watched it, I'll leave a link there as well. Thanks.